we have a crazy story to talk about, and we have a lot to talk about. We have arguably, I know Penei Sewell is probably the best offensive lineman on this team, but the engine that makes it run is Frank Ragnow. And as you can see from this article, Detroit Lions will give Frank now time and room to consider if he wants to still be a part of the team. And he just, as you know, got beat up. I mean, he got beat up this year. Remember in the conference championship, he sprained his knee and his ankle in the same game. He's had that ongoing toe thing. He's had back issues. He's just one of those guys who plays through injuries at a ridiculous level, but it's taken a toll on him. And he actually went and talked to reporters about it, and I'm going to let you hear it for yourselves. Here you go. Take a look.
Just where you can start to do football stuff again.
Yeah, I think this year it's gonna take some time. I just need to be healthy. It takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
It really takes a toll on you. So I need to find a way to get back to Frank. And I don't regret any of this at all, but it weighs on you, and it's just gonna take some time and really figure everything out to make sure that I'm feeling good. Not only for me, the football player, but for me to be the best husband, the best father, and everything is that as well.
Campbell said one of the things.
Okay, that is very interesting to me. I mean, because obviously players who are injured are going to say it's going to take time. I need to get my body right. I need to figure out stuff. He's 27 years old. In this video, we're going to go into a bunch of different stuff, like all the things you could think about, like why he might go, why he might stay, how much will it cost the team if he stays, how much will it cost the team if he goes. I'll give you kind of an insight on what it looks like on contracts, because there's still money that we owe him, even if he retires. That's how that's how guaranteed money works. It's guaranteed, right? So we're going to talk about all those things. But I think one of the most interesting things that I heard in that is him talking about how I can be the best I can be, even as a father, even as a parent. And what that tells me is that these injuries are taking a toll on him. And we've all probably had this to an extent. I'm not a football player, right? I'm not doing crazy stuff. I remember playing pickup basketball and hurting my knee. I remember doing that when my daughter was probably 3 years old, and she's 11 now. And I remember being like, all right, I guess. And then when it started to get better, if I'd play, it would hurt again. And basically it was either basketball or being able to play on my hands and knees and wrestle around with my daughter and then my son and all that kind of stuff. And the decision wasn't hard for me. It was like, all right, I'm going to choose my kids. Now, I'm not being paid $15 million a year to play pickup basketball in the mornings with friends, right? So Frank Ragnow has a much different decision to make, but it sounds like it's one that he's actually mulling over. And I found that to be really, really unique. But what about from a Detroit Lions perspective, and how about retirements and how cuts work? And then we'll talk a little bit more about Frank. All right. So teams can end a contract at any time. But I found this behind the steel curtain, believe it or not, but so can players. In a player's case, though, the only way they can do this is by retiring. In the end, though, the math looks pretty much the same as if the player had been cut. Okay? And the June 1 rule applies here too. All right. So for example, if a player retires, in the example above, if a player had retired instead of being cut, his money would account the same way as if he had been cut by the team. All right. So what if Frank is cut? What if he retires? What do we owe him? All right. Thank you to our friends at SpoTrack. All right. Or Spot Track. I don't know how to say it. All right. They're not actually our friends. We just, I don't know them. But anyways, they do a great job on their website. So here's the year we're in right now. If Frank comes and plays this year, we owe him $12.8 million. This is where you just have to thank you, Brad Holmes. Thank you. Because he doesn't put anybody in a horrible spot with a salary cap situation. If Frank had gone over the last couple of years, it would have been a problem. But all this money is right here sitting in front of us, all right, on Frank's basically 4-year, $54 million contract. If he plays, we pay him $12.8 million. If he doesn't play, it's 13.2 in the dead cap. So if he retires, as weird as it sounds, we still owe Frank $13.2 million. We still owe him $13.2 million. And so you have to realize that if he doesn't play, it still hurts our salary cap, and there's still things we have to do. Next year, it makes a little more sense. He gets paid $14 million to play, and we'd owe him 8.4 if he was not playing or cut, and then the next year it's 15 and 3. So here's the deal. We're 1 year away from what would be the ideal time for Frank to retire, or even honestly 2 years away. I don't want to see this guy gone. I don't. If you go back, and I did a video just a couple days ago, not even knowing this was happening. I think it was titled something along the lines of Detroit Lions in line to get massive talent at the end of the first round, or something like that, or in latest mock. I think that's what it was. And we talked about different centers. There's 2 or 3 centers that are phenomenal that are going to be around in the end of the first round. I want Frank to come back. And the Lions are playing the approach that they absolutely should, which is, dude, you gave everything to this team. We're going to let you take your time and make a decision. Take your time. Also, if you could, this is what I'd be saying if I was the Lions, right? We want to do what's best for this team. We want to do what's best for Frank. We want to do what's best for your family. We also need to keep the team in mind. If you could make that decision by March, that'd be great. If you could make it before the draft at the end of April, that'd be really great. Because keeping Frank will determine how important it is to re-sign Jonah Jackson, how important it is to re-sign Graham Glasgow. Because if you are going to need to replace Frank, you're going to need to get a center at the end of the first round with that 29th pick. Maybe in the second round, but you're definitely going to need to spend some capital on that, because it's an important position, or you're going to put Graham there, or whatever that looks like. The offensive line is a massive position of need, or importance for us. So I understand giving him time. We should give him time. We should. But we also have to realize, like, it needs to be good for both. So Frank, go take some time, try and heal up, see how your body's feeling in a month. Let us know. If you don't know in a month, let us know in 2. If you don't know in 2, please let us know in 2.5 so we can know what's going on as I cough. Anyways, that's what we're looking for. What do you think? Is this real? Is Frank actually mulling retirement, or is this just kind of the end of the year? My body hurts. He'll be fine in a month. Let me know what you think. It's a brutal sport, and it takes a toll on you. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.